The second half of Forbidden Woods is like Darkroot Garden and Shrine of Amana had a disgusting baby. It's easy to get lost here, but there are ironically some important items scattered about this labyrinth that you don't want to miss. So to combat this, I've made a little mini-map to place in the bottom right of the screen, where I'll mark where each clip in the video was recorded. Hopefully this will make this confusing area a little more coherent. First off, take the shortcut elevator we unlocked in the last video and backtrack past the Medusa Hunter until you're back in the windmill. Head up the stairs and drop onto the platform below the door at the top. Take out the wereman and climb the ladder to reach the windmill's upper floor. Step across the gears and head up the stairs to speak to the suspicious beggar.
Whoa! Blimey, don't scare me like that. On a night like this, I took you for a monster. Oh, thank the stars, you're fairly normal. Was it you who put down that awful beast? Ooh, that thing had me trembling, frozen in my boots. And then you came along. Well, if you're a hunter, then would you know of any safe havens? Oh yeah, of course not. I should have known. This whole place is falling apart once again. It's the curse of Yharnam.
In case it isn't clear, he killed these people, and if you send him to Odin Chapel, he will kill more. We now know Yosefka isn't to be trusted either, so that doesn't leave many options. But if you don't tell him of either location, he will stay on this roof.
Have you got a screw-loose? Or is it your animal intuition? You hunters have got more blood on your hands.
This is a great place to fight because it isn't far from the lamp, and you can be sure you won't accidentally injure any allies in the process. That being said, his beast form is quite dangerous, so don't feel bad if you don't get it in the first try. Being a beast, he has a weakness to fire, so buff with fire paper and be patient with your strikes. I like to use 2 dodges and then follow up with 2 hits. When he's finally defeated, you'll receive an upgraded beast rune as a reward. Back in the windmill, drop off from the clockwork and land on the platform below to pick up the cannon, a firearm that needs no introduction. With that out of the way, head back towards the shortcut elevator and into the deeper part of the woods. It wouldn't hurt to buy some Molotovs and oil urns before setting out. Range attacks will really make a difference here. The first thing to notice is the cobblestone path through the center. To pick up important items, you'll have to deviate to the right and left sides, but if you get lost, just look for the path to get you back on track. The first enemy you'll encounter is the snakehead, or as some quite literally call them, snake balls. They're not exceptionally strong, but do inflict slow poison buildup, so don't let yourself get surrounded. If you're following the path, it won't be long until you encounter the giant snakehead. Naturally, this is a more powerful variety, that now has a ranged poison spitting attack. This one in particular can be led into the fire in front of it, but Molotovs also work if you prefer not to get close. Continue following the path until you see these overhanging trees. This is one of the few distinguishable landmarks in the woods, so use it to your advantage. Leave the path and take a right. A Medusa Hunter patrols around this area, so you may run into it here. It's already in its transformed state, so keep your guard up. Past it, there's a small cave with 2 Medusa Hunters inside guarding our first Bloodstone chunk. They have their backs to you, and neither have transformed yet, so take them out and claim your precious upgrade stone. Next, take the ramp to the right of the cave and follow it towards the giant snakehead at the top. There's no fire to cheese it with here, and you'll want to save your Molotovs. So dash behind the monster and attack its back where it can't reach you. Step around the trees on the left and behind the giant gravestone to pick up the Clear Deep Sea rune. which increases slow poison resistance. Now backtrack down the ramp you came up and head straight until you encounter this ravine with 2 giant snake heads within it. This is where those Molotovs and oil urns come into play. Use your position to your advantage and take them out with consumables. Just be careful you don't slip off the edge in the process. Once they're gone, hop down to pick up the Deep Sea rune, which is Frenzy Resist. Leaving the ravine, take a left, which should put you back on the path. Notice that you're on the opposite side of the overhanging trees now. Follow the path towards the Medusa Hunter. This one has the ability to summon small snakeheads. Not much of a threat, but something to be aware of. The path eventually ends at a muddy swamp. This water has no effect other than serving as a landmark, so it's okay to walk in. There's a giant pig on your left that you want to deal with as soon as possible. Continue past the pig to another muddy puddle, this time with fireflies above it. Head right up the ramp, past the Medusa Hunter, and up the elevator that places you back in the well-explored windmill. This is a great shortcut that lets you skip most of the forest nonsense if you die. Back to the fireflies, head straight across and into this canyon to meet a new enemy, the Celestial Kin. These are the creatures Yasefka has been transforming her victims into to better understand the Great Ones. The standard variety isn't very threatening, but those with the tendrils up ahead have arcane attacks that deal incredible damage. You'll want to kill these guys quick. The next 2 guard the first anti-clockwise metamorphosis rune, which increases your max stamina. Head back down the ramp where you found the pig toward the original murky pond. Continue along straight and step under these giant roots for another rune. Slay the crippled ghouls and pick up Dissipating Lake, which increases bolt defense. Leaving the roots, there are 2 fires burning in the distance. This is the direction you want to go, and another giant pig lies past them, so book it before he gets the chance to charge at you. Past the second pig, the path splits into 2. On the left is the boss, and to the right lies another rune. Take the right path and open the gate to the end. An untransformed Medusa Hunter wanders this courtyard, but if you're aggressive, you can probably take it out before it gets the chance to attack. Claim the Clockwise Metamorphosis rune, which increases max HP. Now it's boss time. Head back the way you came and down the other path. The Shadows of Yharnam use fire attacks, so equip some bolt paper if you have it. There are 3 bosses in this fight, and each one is a little different. One has a katana and moves quickly, one has a katana and a candle and moves somewhat quickly, and the last uses a mace and casts pyromancy while moving slowly. These bosses go into different stages as you deal damage, so you're better off killing one entirely before injuring the others. I like taking out one of the katana users first, because once they enter their second stage, snakes burst out of their chests, and the katana users gain the ability to extend their arms while swinging their swords. This makes the melee strikes much harder to avoid, so you want to have taken at least one of them out. Then go for the other katana user, leaving the pyromancer for last. Once they enter their last stage, the remaining boss has the ability to summon giant snakes from the ground to strike you from anywhere. Think Hydra from Dark Souls 1. The way to prevent this from happening is to be very aggressive. As long as you stay aggressive, the shadow will get knocked out of its snake summoning spell, and you'll never have to deal with it at all. The pyromancer rarely uses the mace to attack, so you're actually safer up close than farther away. This is why I like to save him for last. The fight gets easier as you take out the shadows, and once only one is left, it's mostly in the bag. Goodbye and good riddance, Shadows of Yharnam. You'll obtain the Blood Rapture rune upon victory, which makes visceral attacks heal your character, as well as the Forbidden Grave Lamp. But before taking a break, teleport back to the Forbidden Woods Lamp, take the first shortcut elevator, and enter the second half of the woods the way we did at the beginning of the video. Take a left as soon as you can drop onto this platform below. Then follow the edge until you reach this gap in the fence. although it doesn't look it, you can make this jump to the platform on the other side of the canyon, which leads to the Graveguard Mask. Finally, drop off the ledge and pick up the rest of the Graveguard set here. But picking it up complicates the already complex path through the woods, so I like to do it later and bold Hunter's Mark back out. Return to the Dream and equip the Deep Sea rune. Most players want to keep this on for the rest of the game, because from this point on, Frenzy is going to come into play, and we'll need all the help we can get.